Deonte Osayande is a former track and field sprinter turned poet and writer from Detroit, Michigan. Since then, he's had numerous essays published, and his poetry has been featured in over a dozen publications. He's been nominated for the Pushcart Prize and nominated for the Best of the Web Anthology. This Detroit poet has toured across the U.S. and represented Detroit nationally on several occasions. Let's check for Deonte and the Baltimore Gallery as he hosts the Freshwater Slam Poets.
We are here with Ready, Set, Flow at the Baltimore Gallery with Deonte Osayande of the Freshwater Wordsmiths.
Yes.
What up, though?
What's good? Sure.
You got it. Baltimore Gallery is at 314 East Baltimore in Detroit. Deonte Osayande is a phenomenal poet, author, scholar. He just received some awards. We're going to talk about everything that is Deonte Osayande on this episode of Ready, Set, Flow. So, Deonte, tell everyone about your poetry series here every first
and
third Monday.
Every first and third Monday, we're here at the Baltimore Gallery from 7 to 10 p.m. We host open mic and poetry slam every year. We send different poets to represent Detroit at the National Poetry Slam, the Women of the World Poetry Slam, and the Individual World Poetry Slam to help local poets get opportunities to get their voice out there, to get more shows out of town, and for more people to hear their work and be inspired by that work.
So you just mentioned 3 world poetry slams.
Yep.
In addition to the spoken word and being a slam master and a scholar, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do on a regular everyday.
So I'm also an English professor at Wayne County Community College. So usually I'm teaching from basic to complex creative writing classes at the various campuses that the community college has. I also work for the nonprofit Inside Out Detroit, so I teach poetry and creative writing to high school students, middle school students, and elementary age students, so they can get the power of poetry pretty early in life and see how creative writing in the arts can help not only be therapeutic, but can also be something that they can pursue further if they have a passion for the arts.
And you travel regularly.
Yeah, I've toured from coast to coast all across the United States and Canada. My poems have been in different publications worldwide, as far as Nigeria, Singapore, and the United Kingdom. So in the more recent years, I've been back home trying to provide more opportunities for poets back here, but I've toured all over the country performing.
That's what's up. And your words are available worldwide, not just here in Detroit, but you can get Deonte Osayande's work worldwide.
Wow, just gotta put me in Google. I promise I'm the only one. So it makes it pretty easy to look for me. So just put the name in, and you can pretty much find it either in video or written format.
I love you, but by the time this reaches your ears, it will already be too late. I'll be back within the mouth of a beast you see in my hometown. 2 men aged 16 and 25 are reported murdered each week, which means men my age have asphalt graves dug by trucks made in the ghost factories of our homes who got crack futures, buried in abundance as if something is supposed to grow there. Our lovers forget our names like subtotal receipts. You see, after we fill up the garbage cans, we are heaped on top of one another like tables overflowing with the dishes of death's breakfast. I want your attention, but by the time this reaches your ears, I'll already be cursed and betrayal. I'm ripping down the wallpaper of my heart as we speak, draping axe on carpets where I once laid love. I replace all the doors with windows. I become more open by letting less people in. My ventricles are wrecking balls. My arteries are arson artists and it's little children watching all. But in my hometown, little boys and little girls have pistols with mouths that are similar targets, and I'm slowly going to red down on my chest. There's an orange circle around that and a yellow halo around that, and every time I try to talk to them.
So before you take these stages, what is something that you do to prepare yourself to get on the stage? I know every time I see you, your energy is just like on 1,000.
Yeah.
So what do you do to get yourself prepared?
So what's funny is like I'm actually an introvert. Being in front of people kind of freaks me out. But I think back to my days. I used to run track and field before I got into poetry. So I usually think of it kind of like the competition. You can be freaked out ahead of time, you can be freaked out afterwards. But in that moment, you need to make sure that you're focused, that you're in the zone. Being nervous is okay. Being nervous means that you care about what it is that you're doing. So before I get to stage, I'm okay. While I'm on stage, I'm making sure I'm on point with the poem that I'm trying to share. And then after I leave the stage, I can decompress. I can just let me get all of this out of my system.
And I never really thought you had that angst. I'm learning a lot about you right now. So, as far as your works go and your poetry, what are some of the different things that you notice when you travel out of state and what you see here in the Detroit poetry community?
So every city and every community has different topics that are important to them, a different vibe, a different style. So whenever I travel out of town, I notice the artists who I can tell have heard a poet from Detroit before. They might have some experience hearing somebody from here. And I notice the huge differences between how like our poets sound and what things matter the most to us and how it is in whatever locale that I'm at. And with the United States being such like a huge country, it's borderline like there's 50 different countries within the one. So, you know, you usually grow more with your craft when you hear more of your craft. And when I go out of town, it gives me the opportunity to hear more people from other places and then to also see what people have also taken in from different places than what's home for them.
Can you explain for those who may not be familiar with slam poetry and the spoken word, just basically like going to an open mic, can you explain that to everyone? Yeah,
so usually when people think about poetry, they think of, old people talking about love and flowers and nature and all that.
Love Jones.
Yeah, or they think of like back to how poetry was, I guess, in the 90s. When it comes to poetry slam, it's kind of provided that format for poets to share their work in a way that keeps the audience engaged, that keeps the audience interested and entertained. We usually have a 3-minute, 10-second time limit that poets have to share their poem. And then after that, different members of the audience who are already selected to be judges get to score it on a scale from 0 to 10. And from there, we tally up the scores, drop the lowest and the highest score so that we can get that average right there. And then we could decide, whoever is the winner of the competition. The whole competition is just to bring more people in, to get more people interested in poetry. But the point isn't necessarily a competition itself. The point is giving up good poetry, sharing quality art with people who need to hear it.
I see their tongues twitching. I see a rooms full of strangers, things I don't tell my closest friends. The very people I see an oasis in, desert. There are hyenas and vultures that have long encircled my failures, and I fear by the time this reaches your ears, I'll disappear searching for you. See, your attention is worth more to me than the attention of millions. I don't know the depth of the damage in your heart, but mine has been broken into small enough pieces across Detroit that it will fit in and it will fix it. I've been trying to repair my soul with a hammer for so long that I know how impossible it is. I've been facing myself in the mirror and I love bricks who think they're riches. They break on things and they repair. If you told me to swallow gasoline to get that first kiss from the flamethrower of your lips out engulf every motor within my city, I am just a man with a woman's heart. There's a landmine between my neck and my navel, and all I want you to do is fall for me by the time this reaches your ears. I'll be back within the mouth of a beast that wants nothing to do with me. Its teeth will be stars, its guns will drip comets. I'll suspend the sky with my head, just waiting for you to notice me. And the crazy thing about stars is it's really an image of something that died a long time ago. Like an egg broken and battered down into breakfast. Like a dying animal just watching the scavengers waiting for a body to feed upon. Or like a victim of his surroundings, just waiting for someone, anyone, to show it love. Thank you.
Focus One Entertainment is Detroit's premier entertainment company. But we're not just an entertainment company. We are your #1 multimedia resource. Focus One has combined years of talent and experience in order to bring you what you're looking for in a video, a polished professional product. F1 Entertainment specializes in filming workshops, seminars, and corporate presentations. More and more businesses are utilizing video production services to create web virtuals, online marketing content, and promotional and corporate training videos. Your company can do the same with Focus One Entertainment. Contact Focus One Entertainment at 313-444-3638 or visit us on the web at www.focusoneEntertainment.com.
That's dope. So tell us where we can find you on social media, and please spell your name for everyone.
Yeah, you can.
Because I always mix the Y with the S.
Yeah, you pretty much. You put my name in anywhere. That's me. To my knowledge, if anybody else has stolen it, I don't have a Snapchat. So if you put it in there and I come up, it's not me. But put it in Deonte Osayande, DeonteOsayande, and 99.9 plus 0.1% of the time it's me, and I'm a relatively friendly guy, so send a message or something, I'll respond back.
So you have won numerous awards for your poetry. The most recent was the Night Art Challenge here in Detroit. Congratulations to you for that. Tell everyone about the night.
Okay, so the project I won the grant for is called the Michigan Metaphorical Melee. What it is a biannual poetry festival for the whole state of Michigan. My slam master, co-host, and best friend Justin Rogers, he and I brought the largest poetry slam in the Midwest to Detroit in 2014. Now, every other year, we want to have this poetry festival that we're creating just for Michigan poets. Part of it will be a team poetry slam with 8 teams coming from 8 major cities across the state. Part of it will be a theater production where poets get to write their own characters and perform those characters as a part of a play. Part of it will be workshops for aspiring poets or for people who are already writers who want to improve on their craft. And last but not least will be a showcase for local publishers so that writers in Detroit or in the state of Michigan can not only purchase books from other writers who are within the state, but also if they want to have their works published, then they can make those connections with the publishers and try to work that out.
We thank you so much for everything that you are doing for poetry worldwide.
No problem.
Thank you, Big O.
Nandi's Knowledge Café is where host Caesar Torreano captured the essence of the most culturally rooted venue in Detroit. Caesar, dubbed the mayor of the poetry community, gives us poetry of a different kind, mixed with bold metaphors and similes. Well, we'll let you hear for yourself.
We are here at Nandi's Knowledge Cafe at 12511 Woodward in Highland Park, Michigan, with the host of the Poetry Can Be Anything series, Caesar Torreano Harrison. Give it up for yourself, Wonder Twin.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much for coming out to be interviewed by us today. It's a pleasure to be here in this space. This is one of the premier poetry venues here in the Detroit metro area, and Nandi's has a lot going on, but I want you, Caesar, tell us a little bit about how long you've been hosting here at Nandi's Knowledge Cafe.
Well, I've been hosting here roughly about almost 5 years. Started when I was very nervous when I first started off because, I was only doing poetry for a year and a half. But the one thing that I learned about hosting when you're a true host of poetry is not just calling people's names on a list. It's about engaging people. It's about, pretty much I look at it as a calling, pretty much. People with pent up emotions, you come to them and encourage them to perform, encourage them to speak, scouting talent, and just networking and interacting with people.
Okay, so you say that like you really know what it is to be a host at a poetry open mic venue. You have been dubbed the mayor of poetry in the Detroit, Michigan area. So tell us a little bit about why you have been called the mayor. Because at any given moment, Caesar will be at 5 different poetry events in one night, and you'll think that he was somewhere else, but he was actually where you thought you were. So tell us how you're able to do that, Caesar.
Well, I believe that, I guess the reason I got that title is because, I guess people look at me as being a figurehead in the Detroit poetry community. And, it wasn't nothing I tried to compete for or strive for. I was always a firm believer that, you lead by example. And, I believe in supporting the arts. I believe in supporting, poetry, being involved. Not just me just being obsessive consumed with my own open mic to make sure people come, but also to sow seeds into other places so everybody could come together and grow, and we grow as one. So I guess that's how I caught that.
And you say poetry can be anything can be poetry. Why is that your catchphrase, and when did that become your catchphrase?
Well, the catchphrase came when I first started doing poetry. I was doing like a lot of lovey-dovey stuff at first. But then as circumstances started changing into my life, I noticed my poetry changed and became different. Started becoming a little bit talking about a lot of my inward problems and the things I dealt with, difficulties, especially relationships. That's the ultimate trigger. And then I went from that to conscious, and then I went to that from sensual. And what I came to grips is that, poetry was able to be everything I needed to be when I needed it. When I needed to be, believe in love, I wrote love. When I needed to be angry, I wrote poems. I was angry. When I needed to be just a little bit mischievous, a little bit lustful in my thoughts, poetry was that as well. Pretty much poetry gave me what I needed, and I felt healing in that. So that's why I always believe that poetry can be anything. And it's just healing. It was healing to me. So I believe is that you might have a person that's in the audience that might have a poem on them, but they might think that poem might be a little bit too angry. You know what I'm saying? Or it might be a little bit too raw. That's why it says the poetry can be anything it says. That means no matter what poem you want to perform, you can come up here and express yourself.
It can be as short as a haiku or as long as a sermon.
We don't like, we call me off guard with that one. Well, we want everybody to do poems. Everybody express their thoughts, and sometimes person's thoughts can be long-winded. We want everybody to get up there, but also we don't want no seminars, so we've had a few of them. But hey, we want y'all to just come express yourself as an uncensored mic. You don't need to be Saul Williams. I had the ghost of Maya Angelou on your shoulder. All you have to do is be you. You and your words.
Focus, the state or quality of having or producing clear definition. Focus One Entertainment is the premier videography company in the Midwest. We specialize in weddings, corporate events, documentaries, sporting events, and films. Regardless of the scope or budget, we approach every project the same way, by capturing and clearly defining your vision. Contact us at 313-444-3638 or www.focusoneEntertainment.com.
This poem is called Erotic Poet. Don't get no plan into that. Influenced imagination, mental stimulation, verbal penetration, Creative, elegant words can be a potent aphrodisiac. Seductive, intimate images infiltrating your mind. Sensual sonic soars through your eardrums to your cerebral. Into your most deepest inward thoughts are all mine. Beckoning to my verbal commands. A sapiosexual who's at the mercy of a poetic visual professional. Your fantasies molded by my muse's hands. I am literature laced in uncharted lust. A wordplay warrior willing words with a whispering naughty touch. Your imagination is our bedroom chambers, and my sensual scribe provides you that insatiable rush. Passionate songs, I love to make them dance. Intimate ideals are jotted down with tales of erotica and romance. I am a dirty mind with idle time holding a pen. I am a erotic poet. A facilitator of sensual soliloquies, taunting your inward desires to make them reality. Let the powers of these words roll off my tongue, triggering mechanisms in your body. Partake of this verbal vibrant embrace. Let your mind participate in this lyrical lust. Let Daddy put these poems on you. I hit the bottom of your intimate intellect until this poem make you bust. Orgasms after orgasms until your body says enough is enough. I am imagination, flirting, desires, and infatuation. An energetic adjective peddler on a horrid goat wheat. An applicator for authoring verbal aphrodisiacs, a creative skill that gives you thrills, make you weak in the knees. I am a erotic poet.
So tell me what it's like for you to actually serve the poetry community.
At times it can be a little bit difficult, but mainly it's more enriching. It's enriching to me. It's enriching to where I, come to somebody where, and there was a fellow poet, when I first heard her perform, I think she only had like about 1 poem or 2 poems, but she was like very good. And when you reach out to people and reach out to them and you see them how they grow, that it went from 2 to where now they're then beyond 2, they're doing like 15, 20 poems, and their work is challenging you, pushing you to become better.
Yeah.
So that's what I need to see people grow, see how people react when they're touched. You know what I'm saying, by this art.
And we feed the energy. Like I'll feed off your energy. You're my poetic wonder twin, and you might say something on stage that makes me want to say something on stage, and we'll go back and forth.
It's a big circle of life when it comes to poetry. I might say something that might inspire one person. You know what I'm saying? And then another person might feed off that and write a different poem. I mean, I've written poems, I've heard people that I was completely blown away to where it just pushed me to do something maybe not necessarily on that subject, but it just opened me up to, try different angles. So it's a big circle of life. That's how I look at it.
The seeds within me. I vow to profess to the world your excellence. Like a preacher preaching Old Testament lesson of one of God's greatest prophecies. Of immortalizing your being, the syllabus of your life-living ideologies. Give praises to the Lord for hooking you up and up so beautifully that I think that I've deemed you as my own denomination. If you just believe in me, my life will instantly become your heir. Any problem that makes you my love, I will always be there. If you just even thinking about me. Like the Jackson 5, the power of my love, I will be there. I will hold your world upon my shoulders, for you are beyond Atlas. Fly my highs at the coast in the beauty of your skies, like tales of flights of Icarus. Not caring about the intimacy of your walk. Melting my waves for emotional stability, and my plunge to the earth will be fatally tragic. I will hold your heart in my hand like delicate warm lumps of clay, crafted and molded with patience and love and fortified structure and compassion, sun rays. For you will be the earth of my universe. I will revolve around your orbit till my dying day. The skies and constants moons I will yield to my love. But my love for you will never wane. I'll be everything to you, your best lover, your best listener, your best friend. Lay rope petals at the pathway of your entry, so your feet will never embrace the ground again. I will pamper you with sensual massages, exotic oils, I will caress deep down in your skin. Put you on a plateau that rival the heights in the heavens. For the heights of my love for you will have no end. A paradise of bountiful beauty, my heart and soul I will gladly pay. My ideas will always look to love you, my love. Get beyond the barriers of the grave. If you just be good to me. Believe in just what must disease within me. We love one woman forever. I will be unafraid. Our vows that make you happy this beat. With every fiber within my being. My life let the truth. Just be good to me.
Focus One Entertainment is Detroit's premier entertainment company. But we're not just an entertainment company. We are your #1 multimedia resource. Focus One has combined years of talent and experience in order to bring you what you're looking for in a video, a polished professional product. F1 Entertainment specializes in filming workshops, seminars, and corporate presentations. More and more businesses are utilizing video production services to create web virtuals, online marketing content, and promotional and corporate training videos. Your company can do the same with Focus One Entertainment. Contact Focus One Entertainment at 313-444-3638 or visit us on the web at www.focusoneentertainment.com.
So tell me, how many different out-of-state poets do you normally feature, or do you just feature poets from the Metro Detroit area?
We try to get some of everybody. If I had to do a calculate how many out-of-state poets we feature within a year, I'd say we feature about maybe close to about 13 out of a year, 13, 14, and I would love to get those numbers up. But we also want to showcase our local artists to let their voices be heard.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's about coming with a, you know, having a blend. You know what I'm saying? A blend, because like you might have a poet that comes from, I think one of the most phenomenal poets I've heard was a poet named Rudy Francisco, and he comes from San Francisco, California, where he's in San Diego now. And his whole genre, his whole style of poetry, you know, hearing him actually made me want to open up to be emotional, more emotional in my poems. And for us men, it, you know, it can be a little difficult. But to see
be emotional?
To be, when you know, we are men, we are difficult creatures when it comes to expression.
Yes.
But I've seen our brother express himself in a way that it just, this brother just opened himself up, and he seemed like he was incompletely intact. You know what I'm saying? About how he felt. He did like a relationship poem. And he kind of spent it off the saying of Batman, The Dark Knight, you know, see these scars, and the way he talked about his broken relationship, it inspired me. And that's how I was able to dig more to some poems that talks about my things I went through in relationships and things of that nature. So
how did you transition from a spoken word artist into hosting?
Well, through the love of poetry. That's what it is. If you love something, you know, if you love something, you want to become better at it, you will, the transition wouldn't be too hard. The main thing I had to get over with, had to deal with, is that before I really started performing poetry, I had a fear of public speaking. But because I wanted to do it so bad, because I wanted to perform, I wanted to get my emotions out there, I was able to overcome that. And then, now imagine a person with fear of public speaking is hosting.
Yes.
And they have to engage everybody. They have to entertain everybody. They have to do that. So through the love of poetry, I was able to make a transition that wasn't too bad.
So after you shed those fears of public speaking and you became a spoken word artist and now you're hosting, what comes next for you?
Well, what comes next is, hopefully performing in front of a bigger audience, travel out of state, go beyond that, I'm an author, I got 4 books, but just become bigger, get out there and just experience the country. I've seen poets that went all over this country performing and doing their poems. And the stories that they tell and the energy they have behind them, how they felt with this and how they was inspired by this, or how they inspired others by their work. I think that would probably be the next step, to get out there at least try to work the Midwest a little bit at least.
Okay. And beyond.
And beyond, beyond.
12.
Let's go.
I don't believe stand your grounds, give you grounds to blast a brother, because he has a craving for Silverado, Skittles, and iced tea. A billy club stained with a black man's blood should not be their calling card for their choices of residencies. 11. I do not possess a Napoleon God complex, or this self-righteous biblical arrogance that my Glock and my taser that I carry is my lightning bolt of justice. Striking down black folks with no due process because thou should not be a nigga. I don't yearn to be a plague of brutality or think I'm my people's culture of deliver, punishment for the sins with Bill Cosby and Chris Brown. 10. I believe no one's had a license to kill an urbanite. 9. I don't see African Americans as enemies of the state, or the bane of American existence, or reason to exact my hate. I want a career with intimidation, anger, and fear because of job assets. 8. I would never be at peace with choking to death an unarmed man. Racially profiling, planting evidence, or trying to anally violate them. Out here shooting first, then ask the question later while trying to blame the whole fucking ordeal on them. 7. The color of my fraternity, of my undying loyalty is black, never blue or green. So the powers that be can corrupt me or recolor me. I need to express my people's colors freely. 6. I think I'm starting to hate the color blue. 5. I am not a bullet. Nor do I believe in picking on others. That's just business so weak.
So tell everyone how they can find you on social media, where they can find you every Thursday in Highland Park, Michigan at Nandi's Knowledge Cafe.
Yes, I'm the host of Nandi's Knowledge Cafe Poetry Could Be Anything series. We have open mic poetry every Thursday night from 9 to 12. We welcome everybody to come out. We do this every Thursday night. We even open for Thanksgiving this year. You can find us on the fan page through Facebook, Nandi's Knowledge Cafe Poetry Could Be Anything series. If you want to track down me, I am on the big 3. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Caesar Torreano. And pretty much, and I'm on the Vine too, so that go for it. So.
Okay, Caesar. So who's your feature tonight?
Our feature now is a phenomenal poet named Justin Rogers. He is also one of the co-facilitators of Wordsmith, Freshwater Wordsmith Poetry. They have a slam team that represented the Detroit Poetry Slam team for the past couple of years. And that's a venue that's hosted with Deonte Osayande, and that's one of those international poets I was talking to you about.
Yeah, we'll be talking to him.
He is a phenomenal performer, dope brother, and he loved the arts, and that is what's most important.
Yes.
He's doing it for the right reasons.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Wonder Twin.
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to hearing you. Do you want to share anything with us today?
Like a poem? Or?
Like a poem.
Okie dokie. Here we go. I wasn't waiting for this, so here we go.
Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
All right, here we go. I love my black skin. Its color reflects the riches of soil when growth and creation began. And my heart transcends the love from my skin. From my ancestor to me, I was blessed. God's first guardians, in his guardians of Eden, through his glorious will we were birthed. Kings, queens, and pharaohs, my complexion represents the earth. My melon sings sweet melodies to my soul about my ancestors' lives and journeys and the stories that went untold. Society unfolded curriculum codes on how to denounce ourselves. Through dictatorship, bold enough hatred to disclose the greatness that we have within ourselves. False teaching assassins sanctioned by Anglo-Saxons to immortalize the true and hide their lives. To try to destroy our unity, disgrace our black beauty, killing our future before our eyes. Tales of our destiny prove what the lost first human destiny from when Adam and Eve was first paired. The DNA in me that lives screams the world's first native. So let it be told to those that's unaware. Let it be my decadent black essence to be bared as the blueprint of civilization. My pigmentation where my long mane is stationed were the first uniforms of civilization. More deluded peers from these abusive nations decorated my ancestors with treachery and chains, destroying our unity, killing our black beauty, make our lives that we live feel in vain. Cattle slaving our ebony essence to enlist us to be their slaves. Blood, sweat, tears, and fears our deluded peers relish to pay us in pain. But even I locked up or being tortured or being maimed, I will still acknowledge my blackness for the greatness that it contains. You see, my black beauty bangs the footsteps of Hannibal. Before ignorance labeled us jigaboos and cannibals, saying we descended from animals. You see, my black essence is not Turvin or Marcus Garvey defiant. I didn't be Wells and Harriet Tubman reliant. Martin Luther King withstanding. Malcolm X and the Deacon for defense demanding. Wool hair, bronze skin, that's a beautiful skin that we're in. Behind some of the world's greatest accomplishments proudly stood our race of kin. The altars of strength and power, this is a beautiful skin that we're in. You see, I love my black skin. The color reflects the riches of soil when growth and creation begin. And my heart transcends the love for my skin. From my answer to me, I was blessed. If you are my brothers and sisters tonight, I just humbly ask upon you this one request. Adore the beautiful skin that you in and have a love affair with your black self. Be sure.
Yes, Caesar Torreano. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, little girl.
Yes.
Join us next Friday at 7 p.m. for Ready, Set, Flow.